you'll notice that this room has a kind of chapel-like feel. We installed these kind of blocks above the doors. We changed the paint color. And there are various times in this show where we really want you to change gears, and this is one of them. Because while Gorky was painting in the style of Cézanne and Picasso and learning the techniques and imagery of modern art, as I said, in a kind of self-acculturating process, he was also very much aware of his roots as an Armenian. This pair of paintings has their origins in a 1912 photograph that was taken in Van in Armenia, Van city. And it was sent back to Gorky's father, Setrak, who had immigrated to America several years earlier to avoid being drafted into the Turkish army. And the photograph shows his mother in an embroidered apron with a beautiful floral design. And clearly Gorky is wearing his best coat, and he's got a bunch of flowers in his hands. And it's a heart-rending image, and it's meant to say to his father, don't forget about us. You know, we're still here. And I've always suspected that the money had started to dry up, that there was something going on, and what we now know is that his father had in fact met another woman, had another family, and Gorky and his mother and his sister Vartush were very much isolated on the other side of the world in a very perilous situation. And this was taken in 1912 and sent to his father. And then in 1915, with the Armenian genocide, we enter a moment of great terror for Gorky and his family. They are in Van, there's the siege of Van, and they are sent on a death march to Yerevan in Russian Armenia at that time. And his mother dies of starvation in Gorky's arms in 1919. The next year he comes to America, and he goes to see his father, and instead of finding this photograph having a pride of place above the mantelpiece or somewhere like that, I think he found it in a drawer. I mean, it was sort of a great moment of the father who failed. And one of the ways, I think, to understand these early paintings is the emulation of an artist like Cézanne, even to the point of growing a beard, because Cézanne had a beard, these were the fathers who didn't fail him. These were the artists that he loved and admired.